Hello and welcome to English Parliamentary News. I'm Afia Jifri. In this edition, we'll present all the latest and interesting information around the House of Representatives of the Republic of Indonesia. Member of the Legislation Committee of the House encourages the centralized approach to halal product certification for SME to be included in Omnibus Bill on job creation. This will accelerate the process to acquire halal certificates. Speaking after attending a public hearing with the Indonesian Cleric Council or MUI, the Nahdlatul Ulama, and the Muhammadiyah in Nusantara I Building, Jakarta, Muhammad TOHA says currently the halal certification issuance centralized in the central government is seen as an obstacle for SMEs. He says halal certification for SME should be eased by giving authority to Islamic organization in regions.
Sertifikasi halal ini dikembalikan kepada masyarakat dan desentralisasi. Ya, meskipun ada satu lembaga yang berwenang, ya, artinya yang berwenang untuk mengendalikan mereka. Yakni yang tadi kita sampaikan ya MUI.
Member of the Legislation Committee of the House, Muhammad TOHA adds, decentralized halal certification will facilitate SMEs to be better developed. Other than that, it will empower Islamic organization economically if they will be given authority to issue halal certification. Thus, he asserts Omnibus Bill on job creation should include Islamic organizations as part of a halal product guarantor agency.
Semacam LPH, lembaga pensertifikatan halal atau penjamin halal. Ya nanti mereka yang produk-produk UKM seperti bakso, seperti kerajinan ya kursi dan jasa-jasa, mungkin pengiriman yang tingkat-tingkat daerah, ini tidak harus ke Jakarta.
Hilman and Julian, TVA Parliament report. Member of Commission 4 demands the government to guarantee food supply amidst the COVID-19 and to give incentive to fishermen and farmers. Speaking at the plenary meeting in the Parliament compound Senayan, Jakarta, YOHANIS LEMA says the food availability has to be well maintained and met the people's needs. He conveys in designing long-term policy to protect food security, universities and research institutions in Indonesia are demanded to collaborate in enhancing the natural resources to meet the national needs.
Masyarakat ini dalam situasi apapun itu harus makan 3 kali sehari, ya. Nah, ini yang harus betul-betul menjadi perhatian buat kita. Ya, kita tahu bahwa dunia internasional sendiri sudah memberikan sinyal bahwa dalam situasi pandemi ini, ya, ketersediaan pangan, ketahanan pangan, bahkan kemandirian pangan itu harus betul-betul kita bisa jamin.
Member of Commission 4 of the House, YOHANIS LEMA adds, food independence and food sovereignty must be thrived and be managed properly by optimizing domestic production and limiting imports. The government also has to provide economic recovery incentives to farmers and fishermen.
Kalau banyak negara produsen pangan itu menahan stok pangan mereka, ini kan bisa berdampak kepada kita mengalami kesulitan untuk memenuhi kebutuhan di dalam negeri kita. Nah, hari ini kita harus berpikir dalam jangka menengah dan mungkin jangka panjang, kita harus mulai memanfaatkan kesempatan ini untuk bisa ya mulai mandiri.
Ajib and Rangga, TVA Parliament report. Member of Commission 11 of the House demands the Ministry of Finance and the Indonesian Central Bank, Bank Indonesia, to oversee and manage potential risk from fiscal and monetary sector. Speaking after attending the plenary session in the House compound, member of Commission 11 of the House, Muhammad MISBAKHUN conveys the government has to have a management risk in dealing with the pandemic to ensure the Indonesian fiscal balance. He explains the 2020 and the 2021 state budget must pay attention to the risk of financial crisis as this has widened the 2020 state budget deficit.
Pandemi ini kan membuat kita mengalami kontraksi yang dalam, baik itu di dalam pertumbuhan maupun kalau di sektor perbankan itu akan mengalami shock liquidity. Di dalam demand kita juga akan mengalami shock permintaan, demand shock. Lah, semuanya akan menghadapi situasi tidak normal. Nah,
MISBAKHUN further explains so far the government has set up social programs for the people, such as assisting electronic subsidies for customers with 450 volt ampere and providing a progressive stimulus for enterprises.
Kebutuhan kita, bagaimana menangani UMKM, menangani korporasi tingkat menengah, dan menangani korporasi dalam skala besar, itu juga akan membutuhkan stimulus yang berbeda.
Alda and Ade, TVA Parliament Report. Member of Commission 3 highlights the role of the Indonesian military, the police, the local governments, and the National COVID-19 Task Force in preparing the implementation of the new normal phase in a number of regions. Speaking before attending the plenary session at the House Building, Jakarta, member of Commission 3, ARTERIA DAHLAN says the implementation of new normal in various regions must be widely examined and investigated to prevent the spread of COVID-19. ARTERIA DAHLAN adds a close supervision and the realization of a resilient village program proposed by the police chief, Indonesian Army, and the task force team is expected to raise awareness to the people to comply with the health measures.
Pekerjaan-pekerjaan saat ini adalah pekerjaan-pekerjaan detailing. Memang ada beberapa yang harus kita jaga ketat, harus ada pengawasan ketat, tapi juga ada beberapa yang sudah yang kita katakan ya, mendekati zona aman. Untuk itu tentunya penerapan ya, dalam konteks keamanan, dalam konteks pengawasan, itu juga tidak bisa diberlakukan secara baku dan umum. Jadi case by case ya, wilayah per wilayah.
ARTERIA DAHLAN asserts optimism and cooperation of all parties will enable our country to overcome various problems, especially in responding to COVID-19.
Kami juga menghimbau kepada seluruh masyarakat untuk percaya pada pemerintah, ya, kemudian juga protokol-protokol yang dihadirkan, ya, tolong ditaati, pastinya berguna bagi kita dan berguna bagi bangsa ini.
Ajib and Rangga, TVA Parliament Report. Commission 6 of the House demands the government not to abruptly close traditional market following several COVID-19 clusters emanate from traditional market. Speaking in the House Building Jakarta, Vice Chairman of Commission 6 of the House, ARIA BIMA, says the policy to close traditional market should not be implied as it relates to the people's basic needs and it also impacts the economic chain. ARIA BIMA urges the government to intensify coordination with all related stakeholders in overseeing traditional markets, as well as to conduct a swab test to market vendors.
Jadi tolong dikomunikasikan bahwa rapid test ini tidak ada kaitan penutupan pasar. Rapid test ini untuk menjaga supaya pedagang itu tidak saling tertular dan pasar tidak menjadi pusat penularan.
Vice Chairman of Commission 6, ARIA BIMA, demands a stricter health protocol to be enforced in traditional market. For example, by carrying out a routine disinfectant spraying and providing hand washing stations in several locations.
Atau tetap semua pedagang jualan, tetapi menggunakan jalan di depan pasar yang ditutup. Sehingga lenggang, sehingga tidak umpek-umpekan, sehingga tidak dempet-dempetan. Dan mohon maaf, sirkulasi udara dan mataharinya juga terjaga. Panas-panas dikit nggak apa-apa. Jalur-jalur transportasi dialihkan dulu. Ya.
Ayu and Bari, TVA Parliament Report. The COVID-19 Surveillance Task Group of the House demands the Ministry of Social Affairs with regional government to update the latest data to anticipate the impact of COVID-19. Speaking after visiting the Social Affairs Ministry office, the head of COVID-19 Task Force of the House, Muhaimin Iskandar, says the unsynchronized data has always been the main issue. He says data plays a major role in combating the impact of COVID-19 in order to avoid overlapping distribution of social assistance to the community.
Data masih menjadi problem utama kita sehingga perencanaan kita dari APBN maupun perencanaan dari APBD betul-betul harus sinkron sehingga satu tidak tumpang tindih yang menerima bantuan, yang kedua tidak ada lagi yang tidak menerima bantuan padahal memiliki hak untuk menerima bantuan.
Member of Commission 8 of the House, Lisda Hendrajoni says the inconsistency in data has resulted in uneven distribution of social assistance. For that, she expects this matter can be solved optimally. Lisda Hendrajoni also encourages the regional government to update its citizen database.
Ini perlu pendataan yang betul-betul jeli ke depannya, karena kita maunya Indonesia ini masalah pendataan itu seharusnya itu sudah aman, ya. Dan ini perlu adanya dari masing-masing daerah itu juga memang mereka juga harus segera mengupdate data terbaru. Nah, jadi jangan data yang lama, karena tidak semua wilayah itu ternyata aktif.
Mario Hasiholan and Ridwan, TVA Parliament report. To show government seriousness in handling COVID-19 in Indonesia, House member Eki Awal Muharram demands budget allocation to tackle COVID-19 to be included in the state finance report. Member of Commission 11, Eki Awal Muharram demands the government to still prioritize budget allocated to tackle COVID-19. As this, he suggests, should play as the basis assumption for the 2021 Indonesian State Financial Report. Eki Muharram says Indonesia has to handle the impact of COVID-19 and to stabilize back the economy to recover our economy.
Kemarin saja di puncak sudah macet, di mana-mana sudah macet, ya. Permasalahannya itu adalah memang geliat ekonomikah, ya, ataukah adanya kebosanan dengan PSBB, ya. Tapi mesti diingat bahwa apabila wabah COVID-19 ini tidak tertangani dan tidak terkendalikan secara baik, maka stabilitas ekonomi tetap terancam.
Eki Awal Muharram menjelaskan dengan berbagai program yang dibentuk pemerintah untuk dapat kembali menguatkan stabilitas keuangan. 3 poin utama tetap harus dijadikan pertimbangan sebagai dasar dalam nota keuangan 2021.
BN. Kedua, anggaran jaring pengaman sosial, ya, untuk bansos dan lain sebagainya yang untuk golongan 60% terbawah harus terjamin di dalam APBN. Karena apa? Karena dengan terjaminnya golongan 60% ke bawah tersebut, maka akan mendorong daya beli masyarakat mereka, akan pada gilirnya akan mendorong domestic consumption dan mendorong pertumbuhan ekonomi.
Nadia Endwi, TVA Parliament report. Member of the Legislation Committee of the House, Gus Pardigao, says the deliberation of the Job Creation Bill must invite critical witnesses. Speaking after attending working committee meeting that set up a hearing timeline for this legislative term, member of the Legislation Committee, Supardi, says as of now, the working committee has finished discussing clusters related to SME. However, other clusters, specifically labor clusters, will be delayed in line with the agreement of the government and the legislation body of the House. Supardi admits that he wants the deliberation of this bill not to be done hastily or in a hurry.
Sedangkan antara pemerintah dengan DPR, khususnya Balik dan lebih khusus lagi Panja, sudah sepakat tentang masalah ketenaga kerjaan kita tunda. Yang sudah selesai klaster yang kita bahas adalah mengenai UMKM, kemudian yang sudah kita bahas tentang masalah kehutanan.
Member of the Legislation Committee of the House, Ledia Hanifa, explains the drafting of the Job Creation Bill has been begun since recess term, but the committee still faces difficulties since hearings are held virtually.
Pertama, dalam pembahasan kami di Badan Legislasi yang harus kita ingat adalah jadwal ini harus fleksibel, karena dalam rancangan undang-undang tentang cipta kerja kita sudah sepakati di Badan Legislasi dia harus menampung banyak masukan. Jadi dia harus ada banyak rapat dengar pendapat umum, mendengarkan masukan dari berbagai narasumber, supaya nanti kemudian pembahasan itu, karena kita harus mengharmonisasi 79 undang-undang, itu bisa dengan lebih baik.
Fitian and Zia, TVA Parliament report. And that rounds up this edition of English Parliamentary News. On behalf of all the crew of the Parliament, we would like to thank you for your attention. We will meet again in the next edition of English Parliamentary News. From me, Afia Jufri, once again, thanks for watching and goodbye.